How the heck is this even? Okay. Is that?
Oh, hello! Welcome to my, I don't have any pants on. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have decided to make a whole library of resource videos for you to use as you are starting your beekeeping journey. This is for beginning beekeepers. I usually teach beginning beekeeping classes with a whole audience that I can interact with, but this time I'm doing videos so you can have as a resource whenever you need them, and they're going to be short, effective, and if you have questions, put them in the comments. I'm here to help. Like, that's what I want to do, is answer any question that you might have had of me. I've been beekeeping for over 10 years. I'm studying to get my master beekeepers. I have a background in entomology and I love bugs. So I'm here to help. I want you to have a successful year. Today's questions, I have 3 questions today. Number 1, should I be a beekeeper? Do I have enough time, energy, resources, all the things? Number 2, where do I put my hive? And number 3, what type of hive should I get? Number 1, should you be a beekeeper? I don't know. Do you have the time? Do you have the passion? Do you have the love in your heart? Is there a bee just buzzing around and you just want to learn more? So being a beekeeper is extremely time intensive. If you have a beautiful hive that you are preemptive in focusing on any diseases or any pests that might enter the hive, ideally you would be in your hive for about an hour every 2 weeks. If your hive is not doing well, it can be a lot longer than that. You can be in your hive every 3 days. Your queen can die and you have to like drive 3 hours to get a new queen and bring it back to the hive. It can be pretty stressful and pretty time intensive. And if you do not have the time and the energy to be a beekeeper, don't be a beekeeper. This is not a set it and forget it type hobby. The way that pesticides, neonicotinoids have been introduced into a lot of the monocropping and a lot of our gardens, we aren't equipped to have healthy bees anymore. The beehives cannot just thrive in nature by themselves. They need a little bit of assistance. So if you're not there and committed to helping them, huge disaster. I think one of the number 1 reasons that honeybee hives are on the decline is because of poor beekeepers. So make sure you have the time. Make sure you are educating yourselves. Make sure you are really focused on getting questions and listening to your hive. I'm here to help. Again, let me help. The cost, it is a lot. So you have all of your equipment, and all season long you're going to be buying more equipment, and you're going to find that it's really nice to have like a tool belt. So you buy a tool belt and you're going to find that you want to buy this brush instead of this brush. I'm going to help you find the best equipment so you don't go through all the buying struggles that I did, but it is a pricey little hobby too, so you got to keep that in mind. Another thing is that there are 20,000 different species of bees in the world, and you have wasps and birds and different types of insects that help with pollination as well as the bee. And most of these bees that are not honeybees do better at pollinating than a honeybee. So if you have like a blue orchard mason bee, beautiful bee, it's metallic blue, it doesn't have a stinger, it's a solitary bee, it lives by itself, it's so adorable. And you compare that to one worker bee, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. The mason bee will pollinate your flowers 50 times better than the honeybee. 50 times better. So if you're looking to help the pollination in your yard, if you're looking to really help your fruit trees or your garden, and that's why you're beekeeping, I would take a look at your ecosystem, kind of what's going on in the yard already. I would find a way to help your native bees before you did pollination, because sometimes it's just as easy as like putting out a bee hotel. Also, if you put a beehive in a place that has a really good pollination system already happening, it can disrupt the whole thing. And if you decide you say, okay, I'm going to be a beekeeper, you bring in a big hive and it disrupts this whole ecosystem, and then the next year you're like, it wasn't for me, and you take it away, then those native bees have left because the honeybees have come in and disrupt everything. And so it's going to take you a while to build back up to a place where your garden is healthy again. So make sure you know what you're doing. Some beekeepers say to start with 2 or 3 hives, because if one of your hives is suffering, you can take resources from the healthy hive and you can kind of play a game where you can help this struggling hive. My suggestion is, especially if you're not sure if your place is good for bees, is to start with 1 hive. one hive is going to be introducing 100,000 honeybees to your area. And you're just doubling that if you put another hive in there. It's very disruptive to the environment. So put one hive in and then be very aware as to how the hive is building out, what the nectar flow is like. If they're filling it up so fast and you're just loading boxes on top of it, the next season you know, okay, it's good to have a second hive, or you can even split that hive into 2 hives. So I say start with 1 hive just so you can get a good feel of your area. Okay, number 3, what type of hive should you get? So there are a plethora of hives out there, and there's pros and cons to all of them. I'm gonna do a video that goes through and walks through all the different hives and different ways that people have kept bees. But the Langstroth hive has kind of stood the test of time. It's a great hive for beginners, and it's a great hive for experts. It's a wonderful hive in that it mimics really closely how a beehive would be in nature. And so I say start with a 10 frame Langstroth hive. Langstroths come in an 8 frame or a 10 frame. The 8 frame is just going to be a little bit thinner without those 2 extra frames on the end, a little bit thinner. And if your hive is doing really well and it's building out really quickly, with an 8 frame, you're going to be adding a lot of boxes a lot quicker. I like the 10 frame because it feels like it's a good pace as they fill it up to be putting other boxes on top. And if you have uniform equipment between all of your hives, you can kind of share equipment between the hives if you're being careful to like disinfect and what you should be doing. Those are my 3 basic questions that you should be looking at and thinking about before you start your hive. The next video, I really want to talk about a package versus a nuke, the different breeds of bees that you can get, and also the stand that you put your hive on. That's really important as well to your bees' success. So stay with me because the entire season this year, I'm going to be doing videos that will help you every step of the way. You're going to be the best beekeeper, and your hive is going to be healthy, and you're going to have all the tools you need to be successful. So if you have any questions, the best place to put them is in the comment of the YouTube or comment on one of my Instagram posts as well, and I can help you. I'm very excited about this. So I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time. I don't know how to end these videos.